Welcome back to the channel. My name is Casey. I'm the Rumble Right Dad, and I am a dissident therapist for more than 13 years. And today we are talking about, no hyperbole, maybe the biggest problem facing mankind. It is the friend recession. Let's go.
Last year, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy sounded the alarm on the effect chronic loneliness can have on people's health. A report released from his office last spring revealed that social isolation can be as deadly as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day.
According to the U.S. Surgeon General, 49% of people in America report that they have less than 3 friends, which is up from just 27% in 1990. So double the amount of people are walking around with less friends than they previously had just a few decades ago.
Recognize that another human being cannot fix loneliness. Like, they can't do it on their own. And as long as our problem-solving strategy is completely independent, loneliness will never get better. And so what does that mean for you? That means that you may have to think about other people. You may have to invite other people who you may not think about inviting or may not even want to invite. You are entitled to invite whoever you want. I'm not saying that you should be forced to, but what I'm saying is understand the implication of going by what you're entitled to instead of what is like acting from compassion.
Men are the biggest losers in this equation. 15% of them report having 0 close friends. And in 1990, 55% of men said they had 6 or more very close friends. Today, it's just 27%. And again, 15% have reported having 0 close friends. So the friendship recession could be hitting men the worst.
The thing that you really have to think a little bit about is that you may not be able to fix your own loneliness, but you can absolutely help someone else.
So singleness is also skyrocketing. 45% of adults report being single in the US, and there's 13 million new singles since the pandemic, which prevented us from connecting with one another. So now the government is the ultimate resource even for your intimate needs. And if you don't get those met by the government, you can always go online and find it conveniently without having to connect in person. The loneliness crisis has hit relationships and also birth rates. While in the US, they're not as terrible as they are in places like Japan, they are still below replacement level, which means that when you're an older adult and you actually need taxpayer money to come in for your benefits, or when you need services at the old folks home, there may not be an individual there to give it.
Differently, which is reach out to someone else for their sake instead of your own.
Loneliness isn't just a mental health problem, it's also causing physical health problems. There is an equivalency of 15 cigarettes a day as the result of loneliness. And loneliness, along with muscle mass, are indicated most in living a long and fruitful life. So if you don't have any friends, you're going to suffer. It's the equivalent of 15 cigarettes a day. Young people are feeling the burn the worst. 30% of them report feelings of loneliness every day, and teens report feeling lonely at a 61% weekly clip, and that is up. Everything is up since the pandemic, and men are leading the charge. Male spaces have been eliminated. Every cigar club, every otherwise golf club, anything that had a male bent to it is now being overtaken. And so men lead the charge in loneliness. 39% of singles report feeling lonely every week, whereas only 22% of married folks feel loneliness every week. That's according to cutestkids.com. And the average American shows at least 3 to 5 close friends, with 12% having none. So that's from Mastermind Behavior. Work friends and school friends are all declining. Remote work has promoted this, and remote education has promoted this. What is the cause of these issues? Speaking to my industry first, therapy has replaced friends. If your therapist is just a talk therapist who does not work on solutions, you are paying for a friend. And it's so convenient nowadays to do so. And in fact, it doesn't come with the discomfort of actually having to be accountable to somebody who has access to you 24/7 or can see how your negative behaviors play out throughout the course of your week and your actual life. And so pay a friend or a verbal prostitute is a popular solution to the friendship crisis. There are urban designs and city life that have made everything feel anonymous, as well as digital culture, which has replaced in-person connections, of course. And those parasocial relationships do not meet the same neurochemical reward that an in-person friendship would. The career-first mindset and equality within the workplace has promoted a lot of the fact that women don't need men anymore. They don't need men to provide for their needs, and they out-earn their male counterparts in many cases. They're out-educated. They're more educated than men are. And so the problem has persisted and grown. What do we do about it? Take a fast from your phone. Walk outside. Invite someone over. Start with the most low-hanging fruit, which is the friends that you already have. Reach out to them and text them extra times throughout the week. Start conversations. Join a club. Join a group. Bird watching, bowling, golf, any of the things that might help you have interpersonal connection with other individuals who are suffering the same thing that you are. Rebuild your community one interaction at a time and start local, because the best flex you can have against a crisis is a good relationship with your neighbors. What if daddy government couldn't provide? All of a sudden, can you rely upon your neighbor to be a helpful protector if and when that crisis happens? If you're suffering from the loneliness crisis and the recession in friendships, just know that you are not alone. But if you remain alone, you may self-delete alone, and I'm not okay with that. Let's rally together, because this might be the problem of our time that would solve for whether our kids are going to have a fruitful future in America. Let's do this together. If you can be in any way served by this channel, I'm so grateful for your subscription, and please hit the bell. We can storm the gates of hell together.